All right, so for 2.1a, it's basically solving variables. Okay, so again, the first thing I would do if I were you guys is I would make sure I go to courses, go to modules, okay, and make sure I print off this one-page schedule, okay, and print off the notes. Okay, so for 2.1a and 2.1b, these will be the notes that you can print off. Those are the notes that we're going to go over for this section. Now, 2.1a, 2.1b, you should be able to do those pretty much without this video, but get in the habit of watching the videos, get in the habit, because once we get to farther down the line, it does get a little bit tougher. Okay, so make sure, print off these 2.1a, 2.1b notes, and then follow along. Okay, I know sometimes it's inconvenience, but I try to make these as short but as to the point as possible. Okay, so 2.1a is what we'll start with this week. Okay, so if you print these off, I'll start with this problem right here. Okay, so pull up the whiteboard. Okay, so the first question, 9z plus 6 is equal to 9z plus 3 minus 26. Okay, so basically what 2.1a is trying to figure out is it going to have one solution, okay, no solutions, or multiple solutions? Okay, so if you think about a system of equations or a line, okay, so if I have this, okay, and if I was to graph this, okay, could I solve it? So I would go 9z plus 6 and set these equal and try to figure out where the z's collide. Okay, so like that would collide in 1. Okay, but if I had something where two lines, if I drew the two lines on the line on this side and the line on this side, and they never intersected, this would be no solution. Okay, and then this would be the one solution. And then if I drew one more, okay, and then they got drawn on top of each other, well, they would hit and they would collide at every point. So this would be infinite solutions. Okay. Okay. So if there's only one solution, they want you to solve it out. Okay. And you'll kind of see where they would have no solutions and infinite solutions. So let's go ahead and solve this one. Okay. So the first thing you're going to do is distribute the 9 on that side. So I have 9z plus 6 is going to be 9 times z plus 27 minus 26. Okay. Simplify this side. So I have 9z plus 6 is equal to 9z plus 1. Okay. And so now what I could do is I could minus the 6 or minus the 1. So I'm going to minus the 9z off this side, take all the z's to the left, and then I'm going to minus 6 on this side. Get all these numbers to the right, z's to the left. But when I do that, 9z minus 9z is 0z, and that's equal to negative 5. Well, is 0 times z equal to negative 5? What number z could I use? And the answer is none. Okay, so there's 0 times z is just 0. Okay, so this would be no solution. Okay, so if you ever get where 0 times something is equal to a number where this is not true, then it's going to be no solution. Okay, all right, so the next one, I have 4/7 w minus 4 minus there we go, minus 19/7 is equal to negative 5. Okay, so the first thing I would do is distribute. So now I have 4/7 W minus, well, when I multiply this, 4 times 4 is 16. And remember, when you multiply this times a fraction, you only multiply by the top. So 4 times 4 is 16 over 7 minus 19 over 7 is equal to -5. Now, if you're like me, I don't like fractions. So I'm going to multiply everything by 7. And I'm going to distribute that to everything. Okay. So 7 times 4/7 would just be 4. So that would be 4W minus 16 minus 19 is equal to 7 times -5, which is -35. Okay. And now simplify. So I got 4W minus 35 is equal to -35. I'm going to add 35. So I got 4W is equal to 0. Divide by 4. Get W is equal to 0 over 4, which is 0. So this would be one solution. Okay. The next one, very similar. So I have -5, 4x minus 5 is equal to 21, 7 minus x. Okay. Distribute. So -20x plus 25 is equal to 21 times 7, which is 147, times 21x. I'm going to add 21x to both sides. And so I get x plus 25 is equal to 147 minus off 25. X equals 122. That'd be one solution. Okay. And the last one. Like this. Last one like this. 8z minus 7 over 6 plus 24 over 12 is equal to 16z plus 10 over 12. Okay, so the first thing you could do is try to simplify. Obviously 24 over 12 is 2. You could simplify this. That one might be pretty tough to simplify, but I don't like fractions at all. I don't even want to try to simplify. Okay, so I'm going to multiply by the least common denominator. Okay, so that would be 6 times 2 is 12, so I could get this to be 12, 12, and 12, right? So I'm going to multiply this, everything, by 12. Okay, so the first one, 12 over 6. 12 divided by 6 is 2, so I'm going to have a 2, and then I'm left with everything up top, 8z minus 7. Plus 12 divided by 12 is 1, so that just crosses off. It's equal again, 12 divided by 12, so 16z plus 10. Distribute to 2, so now I have 16z minus 14 plus 24 is equal to 16z plus 10. Okay, simplify. 16z, negative 14 plus 24 is 10. Is equal to 16z plus 10. Well, see how it's the exact same on the left is right. So I could keep going. I could minus 10. And I'm going to get 16z is equal to 16z. I could, again, divide by 16. And I get z is equal to z. Okay? So if I plugged 1 in for z, well, 1 would equal 1. If I plug 2, 2 would equal 2. If I plug 3, 3 would equal 3. Okay, so I can plug any number in. So this is going to be infinite solutions. Okay. So that's the basics of the first 4. Okay, just solving equations. The last part of it is solving absolute values. Okay, and so if you think about absolute values, okay, let's do this. The absolute value of any number is always positive, right? It's the distance from 0. So the absolute value of 7 is equal to 7. But the absolute value of -7 is also equal to 7 because it's 7 away from 0. Okay, but what if I put something else in there? What if I said the absolute value of x is equal to 7? Well, we just determined that it could be 7 or it could be -7. Okay, so anytime you see absolute value, you're going to think it could have two solutions. Okay, and most of the time it will. It'll be the positive and the negative. Okay, so on the first one, I'm going to say -2x minus 6 is equal to 17. Okay, well, think about what could be in here. It could be 17, okay, because the absolute value of 17 would equal 17, or it could be -17 because the absolute value of -17 would equal 17. Okay, so I'm going to set up two equations. -2x minus 6 is equal to 17. And I'm going to say -2x minus 6 is equal to -17. Could be two different solutions. Okay, so again, add 6. -2x is equal to 23. Divide by -2, so x would equal -23 over 2. That's one answer. The other one, you work it out the exact same way. -2x is equal to -11. Divide by -2. X would equal 11 over 2. So there's two answers. -23 seconds and 11 seconds. Okay, so how you should write that, it's going to say the set -23 over 2 and 11 over 2. A lot of people put it like this. Okay, but this means a coordinate plane, so you do not want to do it like that. Okay, so you don't want to do a basic XY value. Okay, or this could mean range. Okay, or this would actually be domain, so you don't want to do that. Okay, make sure you put it in the set squiggly lines. Okay. All right. So if we keep going, 5y minus 2 equals 0. Okay, so you think about it, what could it be? Well, the absolute value of what is equal to 0? Well, 0. Or, I mean, -0 isn't a thing. Okay, so we don't have to think about that. So we're going to say this is going to have one solution. Anytime it's 0, there's going to be one solution. So we just solve it out. Minus 2 is equal to 0. Add 2. -5y is equal to 2. Divide by -5. That's it. Y is equal to -2/5. Okay. One more. Absolute value of 10x plus 8 plus 4 is equal to 2. Okay, so before you set up two equations like we did before, okay, you can't just do +2 minus 2, okay? We have to get everything else away, okay? So it only can be the absolute value on this side. So I'm going to minus 4 off both sides. And I get -2, okay? So you think about it, absolute value of what could be -2? If I plug 2 in, the absolute value of 2 is still 2. What about -2? The absolute value of -2 is still 2. It always has to be positive, right? So can it ever be negative? Can't. Okay, so this is automatically, anytime you get negative on that side, it's going to be no solution. And you got to be careful, because if you work this out, if you say 2 and -2, you'll get two answers. Okay, but so you got to realize the absolute value can never actually be -2 or negative. Any negative has to be greater than 0. Has to be greater than or equal to 0. Okay. And the last one. Absolute value. 6y plus 5 minus 18, 0. Okay. So again, this can't be here. So I need to move it over. Add it over. 18. It is positive. Okay. So I should get two solutions. So I should say 6y plus 5 is equal to 18. And 6y plus 5 should equal negative 18. Minus 5. 6y is equal to 13. Divide by 6. Y is equal to 13, 6. Same thing. Minus 5. 6y is equal to negative 23. Divide by 6. Y is equal to negative 23 over 6. So again, two solutions. So I should write it as a solution set. I should say negative 23 over 6 and 13 over 6. Okay. That is section 2.1a. Let me know if you have any questions. Again, this will be due next week. Next Sunday night. This and 2.1b. Okay? Okay. Let me know if you have any questions.